Hello and welcome to Radio Waves. I'm your host, Kris Poliquin, and this is a production of Red Apples Media. We're broadcasting out of WLBE 790 AM, Real Country, out of Leesburg, Florida. And if you're watching us on television, you're doing so on Lake Sumter TV, Comcast Channel 13, Bright House 498, and CenturyLink Prison Channel 83. So today we'll be making waves with Sara Tucker, the office manager for the Misfit Clinic located in Tavares, correct?
Yes, Tavares.
Okay. About what they do and for our furry little friends and how you can actually be involved and help out if you choose to be. So, Sara, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you. We usually have a lot of different topics on this show, and this one is pretty near and dear to a lot of people's heart. People love their pets.
Animals,
their
absolutely.
Animals, you know? So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at Misfit Clinic.
Okay, like you mentioned, my name is Sara. I'm a 22-year-old girl, and I've always had a deep passion for animals. I've always wanted to work with them. I'm currently the standing office manager for Misfit Clinic in downtown Tavares. We're located right behind the City Hall, actually, behind the clock tower. Big bright orange sign outside, you can't miss it.
Okay.
I've always had a deep passion for animals, and Misfit has provided me the opportunity to work with them, work with the animals, and gain some real hands-on experience and give me a new passion and a new care for those animals and how it can help the community as well. So it's been a great experience.
They sounds like they found the right person for the job. It
Thank
really
you.
does. It really does.
Thank you. I love it. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
And that's awesome. So what exactly is the Misfit Clinic? Because there's a lot of different organizations in Lake County. Mm-hmm. What's unique about you guys? What do you do?
So we're not a full-service clinic, and that can be something that, gets misconstrued and can confuse some people because while we are a vet's office, we're not your standard vet's office. So we don't offer all of the services that, your vet down the road necessarily would. We focus on spay-neuter. The clinic and the organization's mission is to reduce the rate of unwanted animals and reduce the rate of euthanization for those, there's such an overpopulation problem that we have going on in our county as well as others around as well. And so the idea is by doing more spay-neuter surgeries, you're reducing that rate of unwanted animals. So a lot of people don't understand how important that can be. And by spay-neutering, you're also, helping ensure a long life for your animal by preventing them from getting, various other diseases and cancers as they get older.
Oh, really?
Yes, so we're predominantly the spay-neuter clinic. We do also have a wellness clinic that we operate at the same time every day that we're open on select hours, where we can offer vaccinations and various blood tests as well, and flea and tick and heartworm preventions to keep your animal safe, especially in Florida. A lot of those diseases are mosquito-borne, so it's extremely important to make sure that our community is educated on those and, that their dogs and cats can be susceptible to various diseases, and teaching them as to how they can, protect them and keep them safe. So while we're not full service, we do predominantly spay-neuter. We do those surgeries every day that we're open. We're not open, your standard 5-day-a-week schedule, but we do perform those surgeries every single day that we're open from 9 o'clock to 3, and that number can vary. We can have as few as 20 or as many as 50 surgeries in a day in a 6-hour period, on top of performing a wellness clinic as well, where we see a variety of animals come in for their vaccinations and tests. So it gets really busy. It's very, very high-paced.
Wow. So I didn't realize you did quite that much.
Yeah.
You have a veterinarian or a staff on hand?
Yes, so we have an in-house veterinarian. She's extremely talented, and we also have a staff full of, dedicated employees who love the animals and want to see what's best for them being done and help educate their owners and the community on, what's going on with their animal and what needs to be done next. And especially one of the biggest things is going to be the flea and tick prevention and heartworm prevention being in Florida. So we like to promote those medications and the heartworm tests just to make sure.
Wow. Okay. So you threw me off with.
Sorry.
No, the mosquitoes. I never really considered animals, pets, getting bit by mosquitoes. I mean, I never really thought about that. Is that like a real issue?
Yeah, absolutely. In Florida, we have terrible, terrible mosquitoes.
Oh,
And they
I know
can carry diseases, and they can bite your animals just as much as they'd bite you. And, they're pests, and they can carry those diseases and give them to your animal. And some of them can be deadly. So it's just best if you keep them on prevention and get their annual tests so that, you prevent all those issues from coming. It's not very known. You'd be surprising how many people aren't aware of the importance of knowing about keeping them on their preventions. But in Florida, it's a much bigger issue than I'd say up north, just because we do have more bugs year round.
Sure.
You know what I mean? We don't necessarily have 4 seasons. But in the summer, it gets so hot, and dogs especially. We see dogs come into the clinic all the time, and some people keep their dogs outside. So it's like, oh, okay, well, if you're going to keep your dog outside, let's do what's best for them and keep them on this medicine so they can continue to live outside and be happy, but you're making sure they're not getting any sicknesses as well.
Right. Yeah, because everybody knows about fleas and ticks. That will always be a problem.
Yeah,
right?
Unfortunately.
But it's pretty interesting about the mosquitoes. I'll have to consider that, because I don't like them any more than anybody else. But okay, so now, is this a storefront or is it just a clinic?
We do have a storefront. So it's an older building. It's in downtown Tavares. It's right next to a lawyer's office, but it was an old house and we've transformed it into a clinic. So we have the back where we operate, but we also have a main lobby up front. In the lobby, we also have, various posters and advertisements about the importance and some education literature for clients to learn about those diseases and things like that. They'll be able to speak to our receptionists, and they can come in and purchase flea and tick medicines and things like that. We also have T-shirts and a variety of other things for sale. But the lobby is very important because of the way we operate our wellness clinic. It's not like your standard vet's office. You don't go into an exam room and have the doctor go in and meet with you. Our doctor, really, yeah. Our doctor sees the animal client rather than the people client. She relies on her staff to communicate all of that information to the clients through her. So myself, say I'm, bringing an animal back, the doctor will give it its vaccinations and do its health exam, but then I'm going to be the one bringing the animal back to the owner while they wait in our lobby. And then I'll be portraying any information that the doctor, decided that they needed to know, or let them know that their health exam went well and that there's no other issues. But she really relies on us to be that smooth line of communication between her and the people client, because she just sees the furry friends. Sure.
Does everybody there have a background in veterinarian?
If you'd be surprised.
Because I know that you do, and that's part of that communication. If I was a customer, I would want to know that I'm getting sound advice.
Absolutely. So the best part about Misfit is they're more than willing to educate anybody who is willing to learn about what needs to be known to make sure that we're giving our clients the most accurate information. So while I've been there for a little while, and I've always been an animal owner, it's amazing how much knowledge you don't know when you have somebody sit down and properly teach you. So we do have some staff who has had a long history of working for veterinary clinics, but we also have some who were just, extremely determined and eager to know more. So those are the kind of people who have really put the foot forward and shown that they have what it takes and they have the same drive and passion. So, we're willing to train them and teach them all the proper information so that they can be that reliable source of communication between the doctor and themselves. So,
okay. Now, if a customer did want to speak with, if they just really felt like, no, I appreciate what you're telling me, can I speak with the vet? Is that possible, or is the vet very kind of like,
That does happen sometimes, where
I know that sometimes
clients...
people, you're talking about a family member.
Yeah.
I use the word pet, and we use the word animals, but their family members.
That does happen sometimes where people would much rather speak to the doctor, and she understands if it's a very pressing matter and, we think that it'd be best that the client heard it from the doctor. It may help them understand a little bit more, may even make them feel a little better. There has been cases where she has gone to speak with them, so I'm not going to say it doesn't happen.
Sure.
We are very high-paced and very, we get very, very busy. We'll have a line out the door, so we move very quickly. Our whole team moves very quickly, so doing things the way we do, where a tech will bring the animal back and their owners will wait in the lobby, makes it more efficient. So we do have every once in a while where the doctor will go speak to a client just to make sure that they fully understand everything that the technician has gone over with them. So
okay, and that's what I wanted to make clear. I didn't
absolutely
want our listeners to think that the veterinarian is kind of a snob.
No, absolutely
it's really
not. She's
sheer
wonderful.
volume.
Yes.
Basically,
absolutely. We
that
get so
vet's
many
working.
animals and people in and out of that building that we've just got to keep it moving sometimes. So
okay, well, we need to take a quick break. If someone wanted to get more information on Misfit Clinic, where can they get that?
They can come into our clinic if they're local. We do have pamphlets with all of our pricing and everything like that available at the reception's desk, and our receptionists are also very educated and can give you any of the information that you need. But we do have a website as well. It's www.misfitclinic.org that also has all that same information, and there's also a contact form on there. So we can contact you, and it'll send us through an email.
Oh, great. All right, Sarah, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue our discussion on the Misfit Clinic.
Thank you.
Hello, and welcome back to Radio Waves. Again, I'm your host, Kris Poliquin, and this is a production of Red Apples Media. Before the break, we were getting a description, basically what the Misfit Clinic actually is for those listeners who may not be aware of what services they provide. And it sounds like you guys are extremely busy.
We are.
Extremely busy. So Sarah, tell me, since the clinic has actually been open, which is 15? Was it April 15?
Yeah, 2015, so about 3 years.
How many surgeries do you think you've gone through?
To date, I believe we have performed slightly over 13,000 surgeries in a 3-year period, almost 2,000 of those which have been community cats.
Community cats? What do you mean?
So outside cats, feral cats, stray cats.
Okay.
We work with TNR and Leash, and they can trap cats and bring them in, and in order to help, because cats can repopulate extremely, extremely quickly. One cat can have thousands of babies over her lifetime. So we will work with the TNR.
Thousands. Wow.
So a lot of times TNR and even, just community members will trap these cats and bring them into us, and we'll make sure that they're spayed or neutered and vaccinated and released back to where they belong. That way they're not, contributing to the overpopulation that we're experiencing.
Okay, so with that sheer number of surgeries, and you kind of alluded to it in our first segment, but just to be clear, how often are you guys open?
We are only open 4 days a week. It's Wednesdays through Fridays every week. We're open the second and fourth Saturday, so only 2 Saturdays. And recently we've occasionally opened up on a Tuesday. If we're not working that Saturday, we'll work a Tuesday. But we don't run full service on Tuesday. We only do strictly surgeries because sometimes we can book up pretty far in advance. So we're only open 4 days a week. We do surgery every single day that we're open, as well as the shot clinic for 3 hours every day except for Tuesday.
Wow. So you're not even open every day of the week.
No.
And yet you're still performing that many surgeries.
Yes, definitely.
Now, is this service, again, just to be clear, is this service just for stray and feral animals? Or can I, as a pet owner, bring my pet and have it spay or neutered?
You can absolutely bring your pet in and have it spayed or neutered. That's kind of the goal. It is a lower cost option for the surgery just because it is a very good thing to consider for your animal, but it can be very expensive. So we try to offer it at a cheaper cost so that we can encourage more people to have it done. But people make appointments for their private pets all of the time. You can bring them in. You can have them spayed, neutered, vaccinated. We offer microchip services as well, heartworm tests, a variety of things. While we're not full service, we do have a variety of services that we do offer.
So what's the difference? What is full service? Like,
so we don't see any sick animals.
Okay.
We don't see any sick animals. If your animal is sick or if it has an issue or anything like that, you'd want to take it to a full-service vet because we don't have, say, x-ray machines, whereas a full-service clinic would.
Got you.
So we only see the healthy animals. We perform the surgeries, and then the wellness clinic, we only see the healthy animals, and we give them their vaccinations for the year.
Okay. Who can bring in stray cats? I assume the county brings you, or
the county
assumed wrong?
The county does bring some in. Anybody can bring them. For our feral cat program, they are required to be in a trap, which is different than your normal cat carrier.
So I can't just catch them in a towel, wrap them up,
no.
quick and go.
You're gonna put a mad cat in a scary environment.
Right.
But no, they have to come in a trap. Any person can bring them in. We do them on Wednesdays and Thursdays. You drop off at the same time that our normal surgery appointments drop off. So anytime between 8 and 9 o'clock, if you have a feral cat and you bring it to us on a Wednesday or Thursday, we'll do our best to make sure that it's done that day. Now, keep in mind, we do these community cats Wednesdays and Thursdays on top of our regularly scheduled appointments. So for some reason, if we have a lot of them, we may hold some of the strays over until the next day and ensure that they're done then. But they do have to come in a trap, and 1 per trap, and we will allow 2 per household per day. So if you had 4 cats to trap, you could bring in 2 of them on a Wednesday and 2 of them on a Thursday. Just make sure that they're in separate traps.
2 per household per day?
Yes, only on Wednesdays and Thursdays.
I've got to ask, have you seen more than that?
Absolutely.
So you've had like the same people go, listen, I've got, more than 4 cats running around my yard or neighborhood for that matter. So you've seen, really?
Yes, we've had some people who have brought them in and they're like, I understand the rule, but these cats have been trapped for a couple of days now, and you don't want the cat to stay in the trap for multiple days. So trying to help out the animal so that it can be released back to where it was from, we'll try to accommodate it. But we really, we have those rules set in place for a reason because we are doing them on top of a full schedule already. So there has been cases where we've had to turn some away, but we try to accommodate and help whenever we can.
Gotcha. That blows my mind. I mean, I know there are stray animals running around. Now, we're talking a lot about cats, but you also do the canine side of this as well, yes?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. I know we're speaking feral cats and such, but so going back to the actual strays, right, community animals, if I were to find one, can I just bring them to you, or do I need to pick them up? Because I think that's important for our audience to understand that you're not a shelter or a humane society, but what extent are you permitted to go, and what should our listeners be aware of before they bring you an animal?
So when you bring us a cat, if you have a stray cat or a community cat that you've trapped and you bring it in for surgery, we'll offer the surgery as well as both of their yearly vaccines, which includes the rabies vaccine as well as their feline distemper vaccine, and an ear tip. The ear tip is where we just put a notch in the top of their ear, and that indicates to the county that they have been vaccinated and altered so that they already know that they're not reproducing anymore. So we will offer that, but the person who brings them in also does have to pick them up. It's a same-day pickup typically. We don't hold any animals overnight, and if you're not able to pick them up, we do ask that you find accommodations for that because we don't hold them. So we ask you when you pick them up to hang on to ferals for about 24 to 48 hours so that they can fully recover from going through the surgery before you release them back to where they came from.
Okay, so it is the responsibility of the person bringing them in.
Yes, it is.
To release them back to where they, I guess, originally found them.
Yes, it is.
Okay. And when you say you recommend them to keep them for 24 hours, we're still talking about feral or in some cases feral, so still within the cage, right?
Yes. So a lot of people, if they're a friendly feral, if they're a friendly community cat and they've been able to make contact with them and pick them up, a lot of the people who bring in these cats to us have been working on trapping these cats for a long time. But they're very smart, so they've taken some time to earn their trust by feeding them. If moms have babies, they're feeding the babies as well, so they earn their trust. So if they know that they're friendly, a lot of the times I've seen or heard of people keeping them in a small bathroom for that time to make sure that they're okay before they release them outside. Other times, sometimes if they're really mean, unfortunately there's not too much you can do, but you've done great by the animal by having it fixed.
Oh, absolutely. And I guess the bigger picture for the local community and the county is it helps reduce the problem of, pardon my terminology, but an abundance of stray animals.
And a lot of the surgeries that we've done over the past 3 years have been predominantly Lake County animals. So we do have some clients that come from Orange County, from Marion County, from Volusia County, but most of them have been from Lake County, yes. So we've been working a lot with our county here, so much so that a lot of our things are spread by word of mouth, and we've seen visitors who have come from hour and a half, 2 hours away to utilize our services.
Why is that?
We offer them at a very low price. I'd say we're very passionate about it. And
I mean, I know you brought that up earlier, but that's a heck of a commute.
Yeah, it is definitely a large commute, but sometimes when you sit down and, if you are on a fixed income or anything like that, it's a really great option for you to utilize. So, I mean, I'd rather drive a little bit longer to get the bargain.
Sure.
So, depending on the situation, definitely.
And still achieve the ultimate goal.
Yes, absolutely. The service that you're going to get at our clinic is going to be top notch. Our doctors, especially when it comes to surgeries, they do these surgeries day in and day out. That's all they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she does spay and neuters all day long. So she's gotten extremely good at it. She's had a long career, and you get really good at something from doing it repetitively. So the services you're going to get from our doctors at our clinic is going to be top notch.
No, that's good to know. Because again, you associate value with price.
Absolutely, and that's not always the case.
And it's not. It simply isn't. But it is. It can be a deterrent for many people to go, ooh. If a deal's too good to be true, it probably is.
Absolutely, but you build that trust with those clients, and, we treat every animal that comes in that building like our own, so, they're not going to receive any lack of care or anything like that. We make sure that all of them are in good hands, and we always try to make the best decisions for the animals, and not only that, if something were to go wrong, or if we notice anything that the owner may not have, we keep them informed throughout the whole process. Before we'll continue, we'll call the owner and say, hey, we've noticed this. Would you like us to continue? It's completely up to you. We try to keep you as involved in the process as possible to make everybody comfortable, and we do treat them like they're our own animals.
Awesome. Again, that's important. Let's equate it to taking your car to the shop.
Yeah.
I went in for a tune-up. Oh, wait, we had to replace this. Where's my $30 tune-up? Not a $700 bill.
Absolutely.
So can we talk, can you speak to us a little bit about the Stax Foundation rebate?
Yes, so the Stax Foundation is for Lake County residents only. If you go on to staxfoundation.org, there is a brief questionnaire that you can fill out there, and they will typically email you or mail you a certificate. The time that it takes to get that back can vary. We are not personally affiliated with them, but we do accept that certificate. And then what it does is, depending on whether or not it's a cat or dog, male or female, and what the weight threshold of it is basically a grant certificate. So it's like a voucher for price off of your surgery. It only covers the surgery, but is a very great option for those Lake County residents who may not be able to afford that surgery for them. The Stax Foundation is very generous when it comes to their voucher prices. So in some cases, I've seen it cover the whole surgery. So, or where someone's had to pay as little as, $4 to $20 leaving out the door. So it's a very great option. You have a low-cost surgery as it is, and then you have this generous foundation who's willing to help those families who may not be able to pay for the surgery to get their animal done. So
that's fantastic. And that's for Lake County residents.
Yes, it is for Lake County residents only.
Or can I walk in from Marion County and go, oh?
Well, we're not affiliated with Stacks. We just accept the certificates. But if you go on the website, it gives you all of the credentials that are required in order to apply for that certificate. And then it is emailed to you. I do believe you have to provide your address and things like that. So they have their process of vetting to make sure. But as of right now, it is for Lake County residents only.
Okay. So if someone wanted to help out, participate, do you accept volunteers?
We do accept volunteers. There's always volunteers needed. There's a lot of work to be done at a very busy clinic. Most of our time, our staff's efforts are focused on the animals. Sure. So, the housekeeping tasks get pushed off till last. And so a lot of the volunteer work is dirty work. It's a lot of housekeeping tasks. There's always laundry to be done, kennels to be cleaned, and a lot of times we'll have volunteers jump in and be a helping hand when we need something and we just can't grab it at this very moment. Unfortunately, there's no hand-on-hand contact with the animals just because,
That's important
yes,
for people
absolutely.
to know.
Those are people's owned pets, and so we just want to make sure that we know who's been in contact with them. But there's a lot of housekeeping work, and we can always accept help.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Sarah, real quick, if someone wanted to get more information, what was your website again?
www.misfitclinic.org.
All right. Sarah, thank you so much for coming and helping us make waves on our little furry friends here in Lake County.
Thank you very much.
All right. So that's it for our show today. I'm your host, Kris Poliquin, and we'll see you next time.